Hey, it's Vicky, and today I have a book haul for you guys. A huge chunk of this book haul is from a big book sale that I went to with one of my best friends this past weekend, and we bought some books. They had a lot. And it was nice because all the proceeds benefited like reading programs and literacy programs in the Metro Detroit area, so it was really nice to know that our money is going towards something good. So yeah, and then I have a couple others just from like random places. So let's get into it. So the first book that I got from the book sale is one that I have read a couple of times. It's one of my favorite classics, but I saw it, actually my friend saw it first, this old really cool like leather bound edition of this book, and so I got it because I was like, why not? And it's just this like leather bound edition of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So, and it does have like some of the illustrations and stuff and all that, and it's not one that I will probably ever like actually read this copy, but it's just a cool book to have. The next one I got is also one I have already read, and it's another classic that I always consider to be a favorite, though I have only read it once. I feel like I need to reread it to really know if it's a favorite classic, but for some reason this edition, like this cover, just looked really cool, and so I want it, and so I got it, and it's 1984 by George Orwell. Like, it just has this, there's kind of a glare, sorry, there we go. I don't know, it just has this cool like retro, like vintage kind of look to it. I don't know if it says in it when this edition was published. 1961, is that maybe what it is? I don't know, anyways. I thought this was a cool cover, so I bought it. Okay, the next one that I got is one that I got because of my friend, because she happens to love these cozy mysteries, and they're ones that I've seen and I want to try. And so when I saw one at the sale, and this is I think it's the third one in the series, but my friend told me you don't have to read them in order to like enjoy them and stuff. But anyways, it's the, I don't know, does it have a series name? I don't know, but anyways, this one is called Blueberry Muffin Murder. And it's basically like a cozy mystery, and then throughout, because the main character I believe is a baker, or like owns a bake shop or something. And so it's like a cozy mystery series that has recipes scattered throughout the book. And my friend said that she's read like a ton of them, and she said that they're just like, yeah, they're just kind of cozy, funny, even though they're like murder mysteries. And she said the recipes are really good too. So when I saw this one, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick it up and give it a try. Why not? I think this would be a fun like winter read, and maybe even try the recipe. So yeah, this one I think has to do with a winter carnival that the main character, who like I said is a baker, she kind of gets like wrapped up in when someone's found murdered at this winter carnival or something. So I don't know, it should be fun. Then I picked up a couple of middle grade reads, some of them for Leia to read, or for us to read together, but also because I just want to read them, or for nostalgia purposes or whatever. She also got a couple other ones that I'm not going to show because she already put them up in her room, and they're ones that like I have no interest in reading. Like there's like a Junie B. Jones one and stuff like that. I'm not going to read Junie B. Jones. But we did find the first Babysitters Club. This is Christie's Great Idea. This is a series I loved as a kid. I think a lot of girls my age did. A lot of girls even younger, maybe even now, still enjoy. And so I don't think I need to really explain what the Babysitters Club is, but this is the first one. So yeah, I think this would be fun to reread it because I don't think I've ever reread a Babysitters Club book, so that would be fun. And I know like Leia and I watched the first season of the series, the Babysitters Club series on Netflix, and we really liked it, so she might want to read these too. And then the next one I got it for Leia, but I also got it for me because I loved these books as a kid. It's the Choose Your Own Adventure. Let me know down below if you ever read Choose Your Own Adventure, but this one is The Green Slime, and it's by Susan Saunders. And so it's kind of like one of those books where like you read along, and when you get to a certain point you have to make a decision and then flip to that page based on whatever your decision is, and so your story kind of changes depending on your choices that you make. I always thought these were really fun, and so when I saw it there I was like, well, I have to pick it up. I think Leia will think it's fun, especially with it being like a slime story and everything. I think that she'll enjoy it. And then the next one I grabbed is another middle grade that I have never read or didn't read as a kid, and I want to read because I've heard good things about it. And that is Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Patterson. And this is about, I believe it's a boy. Is it a boy and a girl? Yes. That become friends, and they sort of both have imaginations, and they create this world called Terabithia. And then basically something very tragic happens, and they have to deal with that tragedy. So it deals with like trauma and I believe grief. And yeah, I've just heard good things about it, so I picked it up. And the last middle grade one that I picked up is another one that I haven't read, but it is on my 100 Epic Reads poster. So eventually, hopefully, I will get to it. So when I saw it, I picked it up, and that's The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster, I think is how you say it. And this one I think is about a little boy who one day this toll booth appears in his bedroom, and it takes him to all these crazy places, and he kind of learns that life is pretty fun and exciting. And it's funny because when I was paying at the book sale thing, this old couple, that married old couple, were working it together. They were ringing me up, and they both were like, "Oh my gosh, we love that book. We just read it with our grandkids, and it was such a blast." So I'm kind of excited to see what this one's about and hope that me and the kids like it. Okay, the next couple of books that I grabbed are some classics that I would like to read. The first one, I was very on the fence about picking this up because I've tried this author before, wasn't thrilled with what I read, but I do want to give her another try because she is so well known and so beloved, and people just really love her. And that is Jane Austen. And so I picked up Persuasion because of like the ones that they had there, this one seems like it was a little bit shorter, and it seems like a story I might be able to, I might be interested in. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's about a woman who was engaged to be married, and then it was called off, and the person that her suitor or whatever was like below her status, and now she's like getting to be like spinster age, and somehow like he comes back into the picture. I don't really know. But this seems like one like I might like it. I kind of want to try it. I don't know. Let me know if I made a mistake. But I do want to give Jane Austen another shot. So I didn't like Pride and Prejudice. I know. I'm like one of the minority, but this one, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, I don't know. The next classic I picked up is one that I'm really interested in reading, and it is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And this one is about a black woman in the 1930s. And so you kind of follow her, I think it starts out when she's a girl and kind of goes through into her adulthood and kind of like her travels around the South in America, and just what it's like to be a black woman in the 30s in that area. And I just heard that this is really good, and it's just a classic I've always wanted to try, so I'm gonna try it. And then the last classic I got, I'm almost ashamed to say I have never read this author in this book, but it's true. And this is another one that is on my Epic Reads poster, and it's one that even if it wasn't, I would definitely want to check it out eventually. It's always been kind of on my list of things to read, and that is Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. Yes, I've never read any Ray Bradbury. Please don't come after me, Carol, from Carol Marie Reads. I know she loves him, and every time she talks about him, I'm like, why haven't I read him yet? What am I doing? So yeah, this was there, and I'm like, you know what, this is on my kind of like bucket list, so I picked it up. And this one is about a guy who's a fireman, and basically his job is to burn books, destroy books, because they are the devil in this world or whatever. So I've obviously heard great things about this, and I want to read it. The next one I got from the sale is I want to say this is like I don't think it's a thriller. I think it's just kind of like a maybe suspense novel, murder mystery sort of book. But it's by an author that I've been wanting to try, and that's Attica Locke, and this is Bluebird, and it's about a character named Darren Matthews. He is a Texas Ranger, a black Texas Ranger, and basically the book is he has to try to solve these two murders. The murder of a black Chicago lawyer and a local white woman in Texas, and somehow they're related, and he has to kind of figure out what happened. So I've heard really good things about this. And like I said, she's an author I've been wanting to try, so I'm gonna give it a try. All right, the next one is a poetry book that I loved as a child and just never owned my own copy, but I guarantee you I've read this many times. Like probably a lot of kids, but that is A Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein. I've always say that Where the Sidewalk Ends is my favorite, and I do have a copy of that one. But when I saw this at the book sale, and it's in like really good shape, I was like, I have to have this. I just have to have it for my collection because I love Shel Silverstein, and my kids and I have read a little bit of Where the Sidewalk Ends, and they really enjoy it, so I know they'll like this one too. And of course, anytime I go to a book sale, I always look for Stephen King, even like mass market paperbacks, whatever I can find. And unfortunately, they didn't have a whole lot, or like what they did have was stuff that I already read or already own. But they had one that I haven't read that I definitely am going to read, and that is Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. And this is a sequel to the book The Talisman, which I have read and really enjoyed. So I don't really know what's going to happen in this sequel or anything. I'm assuming that because The Talisman centered around a young boy, that maybe in the sequel he's grown up. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But this one I really liked because it did have a lot of Dark Tower connections and stuff. So hopefully this one will too. All right, I have 3 more books to share with you guys. And these ones were just like random books I picked up like when I was just like out and about. And oddly enough, the next one is also from Peter Straub. And it is Ghost Story. And this one, I think it's about like a group of old guys that get together and they start like telling each other scary stories or something. I don't know. But I've heard that this has a lot of like kind of coming of age and like nostalgia, but also creepy stuff. And yeah, I have heard a lot about it. So when I saw it at the store, and this was like a bargain book, it was like $10 for this paperback. So I was like, okay, why not? And like I said, I read The Talisman that Peter Straub wrote with Stephen King, and I liked it, but I've never read anything that was just him, so I want to check it out. The next one that I picked up is one I saw like randomly at Target, and I like this author. I've read a short story collection by this author and thought it was pretty good. And so when I saw this and read the synopsis, I was like, okay, why not? And that is Little Girls, A Ghost Story by Ronald Malfi. And this one is about a woman who basically returns to like her childhood home after I believe her father passes away, and it wasn't like a happy place. She doesn't really have a lot of happy memories there. Her dad was very cold and distant towards her, and so, you know, the house doesn't give her warm and fuzzy feelings, but she returns there with her daughter, and her daughter befriends this little girl who reminds her a lot of a little girl that she played with as a child when she lived there, and she's pretty sure it's a ghost. And I just was like, okay, I'm sold. Little ghost girl, yeah, let's do it. So I haven't heard anything about this book, like nothing. So I basically bought it based off of the author and the synopsis, so I'll let you guys know what I think of it when I read it. And the last one that I have to show you guys is one that I picked up at, I want to say Barnes & Noble. And I couldn't believe the price of this. I was so happy because I have been really wanting to read this book, but it's only available in hardcover right now, and hardcovers are expensive, but they had it for $12, so I picked it up very quickly. And that is The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honorée Fannin Jeffers. And this is a bit of a chunky book, but it has interested me because it is a coming-of-age sort of story about a black woman who was like born and raised mainly in the North in America, but would spend her summers in the South with her relatives. And so she kind of got a taste of both of those sort of worlds and how they were different, but how they were also like in some ways and stuff like that. And so yeah, I've heard this is like coming of age, that it has beautiful writing, really good characters. It's a nice big chunky book that I love to dive into. So yeah, I couldn't resist the price, and yeah, I can't wait to read this one. All right guys, so that is it. That is what I have for you for my latest book haul. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. and what ones maybe I should prioritize and read sooner rather than later. And yeah, let me know too the last book you got, either from the library or a bookstore or a book sale or whatever. I just want to know what you've recently picked up. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching.